Hi, I'm Ladine from Hooks and Books Studio. Welcome back to my creative space. I thought about for several days what I was going to say on this video, and I had some different ideas. And then this morning when I was shopping, something just kind of jumped out at me at the store and kind of changed around what I wanted to talk about somewhat. So I wanted to talk again about my mom and how she's inspired me to be in this creative space to begin with. And I had talked a little bit about some of the projects she did when I was growing up. And one of the things lately that has been, kind of thinking back on her work, because I've been doing some counter cross stitch again, I've been thinking a lot about her embroidery. So I wanted to share a couple of her pieces. This is one that hung in my house when I was growing up. She made this one somewhere around the time I was 6, according to the date on the back. She dated the backs of everything, so I can kind of tell you what was going on in our lives depending on what I'm showing you. I don't have everything, I just have a few pieces because things got spread out with me and my sisters after she passed, but this is one that I always loved. And you can see all of the scene that's in this is just so, there's so much in this picture. And I remember just being a little kid, like staring at it and imagining being in that town and, and finding the little cats. She had little cats everywhere, little cats in a window or walking in the snow. It was just a amazing picture to grow up with. But and I kind of was going to make that one more the focal point of this video, but then this one this morning really ties in more with what I saw in the store. So this picture is a really special picture because this was one of the ones my dad loved the most of all the work that she did. He was so proud of this picture because my mom saw a very similar picture in a magazine, and then she took that idea and traced it on a piece of paper and then took those ideas and did this in embroidery. This is all done with yarn. And this was like amazing that she did that. When I think about the work that was involved in just taking an idea from a magazine and translating it onto fabric, I said in the last video that when you do embroidery, it's like painting with string or with floss. And in this case, she painted with the yarn. And I never really looked at it as close as I do today, but as I'm looking at it now, I can see all the different shading in the browns and even in these flowers, that it really brings the picture out. And you can't really see it on the video, but there's so much texture in this. It is really amazing to me. And it's no wonder it was one of my dad's ones that he was most proud of, because she had attached to the back of this ribbon that she won in the county fair. She won first place for this picture, and it wasn't in the embroidery category, it was in the original design category, because she's even got that little piece here too. And this hangs in the other side of my office, and I look at it, and you just kind of look at it. It's been there for years, and it wasn't until this morning when I took it down and really looked at it and saw the beauty that she created in this picture. It just astonishes me that she was very creative and very talented. And I don't think my mother realized how talented she was, but she really was. Even the quilts that she made, they're all, concepts that she may have gotten somewhere, but all her designs were original. I remember her telling me that she would actually cut out a pattern from a newspaper to use that as the paper, and then cut it from that and then hand sew everything. All the quilts she made were always hand sewn. She never did it on a sewing machine, even though she was a wonderful seamstress. So when I see all these beautiful stitches, it just really amazes me that she's done so much. So what drew me to this picture today, and what I saw at the store this morning, is I saw this kit for a drawing class, and why it caught my eye was the fox. I saw the fox and it just kind of stopped me because of the fox painting picture I just did for my granddaughter. But what's cool about it is it's a drawing class, and that's what reminded me of this picture. I thought, boy, wouldn't it be great to be able to draw, especially this fox, because I'm looking at all the detailed shading in this picture, and Mom was able to capture that with yarn. So I just thought, wow, this is amazing. And what's even better is that I get to do a class with it. So it's not like I'm going to be sitting here just looking at a picture and trying to figure it out on my own. I'll be able to do like a step-by-step tutorial. This may be one of those things that I take you along on the journey with me to see if I can actually pull it off. And it's not the first time I've ever tried my hand at drawing. I can draw somewhat, kind of like I have to really be looking at something and draw it. I used to think about, those happy little trees in that forest. For those of you that remember that artist who painted, and he just soothed you when he painted. I used to like to watch him just because he was so soothing in his conversation, and watch him just create these beautiful landscapes. I know Bob Ross, there's his name, Bob Ross, and he had the afro, but his, we all used to joke about it, but man, he had some beautiful paintings. So the picture that I was talking about that I did with the fox, I just thought I would show you. And this is for my granddaughter's birthday. So it's a fox in a poppy field, and this is all counted cross stitch. So I'm having a problem with how it was framed though. In the design, you can see that there's a natural, corner, and they didn't set it in the corner. And originally they had the whole thing centered, so I had them take it back and redo it and tried to get them to do the center. And that would be okay the way it is now, except when I'm looking at it, I'm seeing that there's fold lines. So they didn't stretch the fabric enough when they were putting it on the board. So I don't know. Her birthday's very soon, and I didn't want to give it back. I wanted to give it to her for her birthday. So I'll have to see her response to it, and whether or not I want to go back and have that redone again. It's just that's the thing, is the foxes. So I just want to make sure that she's happy with it. I also wanted to share with you the current project I'm doing, and I am doing embroidery still, which I think is why I'm being just drawn back to these pictures that I have that Mom made, because I'm in that space myself right now. So the one I'm doing right now, I showed it to you briefly last week. It's a little girl with a dog, which is hard to see here, and this is for my other granddaughter. See, when you iron these after you do it, but even so, you see the folds and how the fabric is folded. Unless it's getting framed and that fabric is being pulled, those fold lines show up in the finished work. So I may have to find a different place to get this one framed. But this is what this picture is. It's a little girl with a little dog, and this little dog looks like my little dog Larry. So I thought it was cute, and the granddaughter I'm making this for kind of loves blue. She's got big blue eyes, so I thought this would be a perfect gift for her. So that's my current project. I think it's kind of interesting how, like, we don't realize that we pass these things down to next generations, where, I'm hoping that I can do my mom's legacy justice, that I've captured enough of her talent and watching her over the years where I can do some beautiful pieces myself. The county fair isn't as big as it was when I was growing up. I know we have a county fair near where I live, but I haven't been to it since my kids were little, and then it was more going on the rides, and they weren't as into walking through and seeing all of the awards. When I was growing up, we were all in 4-H, so going to the county fair was to see who was getting the ribbons in our 4-H group and who wasn't, and hoping you were one of the ones that got the blue ribbon. So it was more of I grew up more in a rural area, so the 4-H and the county fair were a big part of the way I was raised. So, for me, it's just the joy of giving something to someone I love, the picking out like even those two pictures I'm working on right now, when I saw them, like, I knew who they were for, like, and then I'm creating it for them. So I just feel that Mom did it more because she wanted to enter these things in the county fair, because that was what was important in the community that I grew up in. But now it's just not the same. For me, it's more about creating something that I know one of my grandchildren or even one of my children would love, or even a friend. I've given away some blankets to some special friends because I just wanted to do something nice for them or wanted to honor them in some way. So that's really where my creative bend is. I just kind of want to leave a legacy of creativity in my family. And I know my kids have some of those creative talents. They don't all use them right now, or they're trying to use them, but life is busy. But it's like me. When I was raising my kids, I didn't have time for all of these things because your kids are your focus. And I didn't realize that until I started looking at these ribbons that my mom won. They're all from the 80s, where all four of us girls were already out of the house. So when I was growing up, my thought was she was doing all this stuff while I was growing up. But it was really when she didn't have the work of the kids, she was able to just let her creativity just explode into all these amazing things that she won awards for and then passed down to us kids. So it's great. Thank you for joining me on this edition of Hooks and Books Studio, and I'll see you on the next video. Thanks for coming on today, and if you like the video, please like it and subscribe to my channel. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thanks.